So Democrats continue to be divided about where to focus. Should they go after every little thing Donald Trump does or every big thing he does, or should they just be focused on affordability? Here's two issues filling my inbox. Democrats quite active. First, the president went to a football game, and apparently, if you're Donald Trump, would the district vote for Harris?
Well, it's
91%.
technically in Prince George's County, which is probably 90-10.
Yeah. So if you go to a football, but they come from all over, obviously.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you go
yeah,
to
yeah.
if you go to a sporting event in the DC area and you're Donald Trump, this is what's likely to happen. Number 123, please. All right, and then here's 125B. It's from the Oval Office last week at that event over injectables.
People can sleep again because they
you
can
see the
breathe when
president
they go
there.
to bed.
People can sleep
Folks
again.
whose
So he's
knees
just
don't
following
hurt. People
Dr.
don't have heart attacks.
Oz's advice. People can sleep again. And here's 125A. This is Gavin Newsom having some fun with this. Dozy Don is back because it appears the president is, let's say, he's resting his eyes. And then the president's poll numbers are down in some polls. And so again, if you're a Democrat who wants to say, finally, Lucy did not take her finger off the football. She did not pull it up in the air. Charlie Brown has kicked now the ball through the uprights. Dan, are these things, booing, sleeping, poll numbers, is this it? Is this the moment the left has been waiting for, or just another mirage and distraction?
Yeah, it's not a distraction in that. Look, but booing is whatever. It's a Democratic city. If Kamala Harris went to the LSU Auburn game or Alabama game Saturday night, I bet she would have been booed if she were on there. I think, the fact that Trump has dozed off like before in the Oval Office, the fact that he is getting older, his base isn't going to leave him from it. But sure, you can have a little fun with him on that stuff. To me, the corruption, the pardons, it won't be the focus, but it should be woven into stump speeches and talking points for sure.
Sean, I've fallen asleep during a live television interview, a live radio interview, and in a Supreme Court oral argument. So I stand second to no person.
Well, the Supreme
defending.
Court one, I can see why. I mean, I would probably.
Well, I was there to hear a case in which I was a plaintiff, but you hear the case before you too.
Aren't the lights turned down low there in the Supreme Court?
Oh my God! And it's like the Council on Foreign Relations. It's basically asking you to fall asleep. Now, that Oval Office event was quite lengthy. The president's, he can be tired too. But if you were the White House press secretary, would you be looking to avoid those situations? And if so, how would you get him an iced tea, Diet Coke? Like, how do you avoid the president nodding off?
He's got plenty of Diet Cokes. Look, I think the one thing that is different in Trump world, taking this in reverse, the dozing off stuff, it's not like the president's not visible and working, right? He's on trips, he's coming back, he's doing this. I think, and I say this in all seriousness, like I think people half his age would be exhausted trying to keep up with
all true, but how do you keep him from falling asleep?
The visuals of him falling asleep in the middle of his own meeting is not. I mean, that would Joe Biden
as a staffer. Yes, as a
but
staffer.
But the difference is that people believe the perception.
No, they don't.
Well, some do.
No, they don't.
Some do. But I'm just asking you from a practical matter as a staffer. You don't want to happen. What do you do to keep him from
No. So let's just get to it. If it was a pattern where it happened multiple times, I think we would say, Mr. President, let's have events earlier in the day, or let's just. I think one event after the guy's been overseas, he's had a series of deals. I honestly, that's not something I would sweat. I will just weigh in on the booing thing. I get where the president was, and I'm obviously 10 miles from there. I understand, even if he'd come over to Virginia, it would have probably not been that different. What appalled me about that was that he was enlisting service members while that was happening on Veterans Day weekend. I found that disgusting and pathetic. If you are sitting there, you want to boo the president when he arrives or whatever, you have a First Amendment right to do that. While members of our country are on the field being sworn into our armed services, and that's how you act, it actually just viscerally upset the hell out of me to watch fellow Americans boo people who are on the field getting sworn in to serve our country. That I hope those images. No. But Dan, you could have waited. I mean, my point is there's a time and a place, and that was not it. The guy was there for a while. You want to boo his arrival or his departure? You have a First Amendment right to do that. That was not the time to do it. Now you have a protected right to do it. I'm not, but here's my point. I want those photos. I will do what I can on social media to make sure that every one of those people that I can find in the audience booing while that was happening gets exposed, because that to me is disgusting.
Sorry.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.